One thing I forgot to tell you when we lived on the farm,
Uh-huh.
we, of course, spent a lot of time, I always spent a lot of time outdoors with kids. They had a lot of things around the farm to investigate. We was always going out because they had trash and stuff they had left out there in the tree lines and everything. And the boys took a lot of their toys out there and played in the dirt and everything, and I was always going with them. And of course, the rumor was, you know, that a guy was murdered on that
He
farm.
was.
He was murdered. I guess it wasn't a rumor. He was murdered. But, so I don't. Mom always had a fit. You know, she always said, "Well, somebody's going to come out of that grove of trees." And I said, "No, the people knew this guy who got murdered."
He was a used car dealer that would screw people royally. He would pour bran into the transmission before he drove the car up, so the noise would be gone. Yeah, he had all kinds of. Yeah, he was
Wow.
very well
Yeah.
known
Anyway,
to be.
they left a lot of stuff in this pasture, and we'd go find. We found all kinds of things. In fact, we found enough lumber to build a big patio thing, and then they found an old separator, a milk separator, and we planted flowers in it, and it really looked neat, you know, out in the yard. People couldn't believe how we fixed up the yard. But anyway, one day, we heard a noise, or saw it, or somehow, and we heard it down at the end of the driveway. And we went down there, and two boys had rolled the pickup with a load of hay on it.
Mhm.
And we knew where the boys,
Well, one of the boys was out laying under the pickup.
under the pickup.
He was pinned from the waist down.
And so I sent the kids back because I didn't want them seeing it. I sent them back to the house to call for help. You know, and I told them to call the Hubbard down to which lived north of us. I said, tell him to bring
We
his
need a
tractor
chain.
because we needed and a chain because we've got to get that pickup off of that way. Well, as it happened, one of them was killed,
Mhm.
and now the other one was hurt, and we thought he was hurt really bad. And so the ambulance, which of course was just a station wagon, really, come out, and he said, "Well, I've got to take him to Lindsburg."
So Mom rode with him
And
till
he said, "I need somebody to go with me," so I rode with him over there. Well, about the time we got over there, he looked at me and he said, this driver did, and he said, "Do you know where the hospital is?" And I said, "Not really." And this kid Steve looked up and said, "I do," and I'm going, "Oh my gosh," because I'd had my hands on him kind of, and he wasn't moving, you know. But he said, "I do," and I'm going, "Oh my gosh,"
his hip was out of
his
place.
hip was out of place.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess he was dazed from the pickup, you know,
Sure,
too.
yeah.
But
But he was
oh
only,
my
what,
gosh.
9-year-old driving that pickup.
Yeah, and
Hey.
driving that
And
pickup.
it had a lot of play in it, and you could see where he started.
And it was a
He
sand
lost control,
road.
whipping it back and forth. And his 7-year-old brother died of a broken neck. He was
Wow.
pinned behind the seat.
But I didn't want the kids down there.
Well,
So
sure.
I sent them back, and then I went with him over there. That was quiet. And then his folks came in. But thank goodness, because I
Well,
thought
his
he was the way it
sister
was. He
came
was
over and
almost
says,
dead. I didn't know.
Does he have any marks on him, the boy that was killed? I said, no, there's no marks on him whatsoever.
Who said that, honey? His sister?
His sister,
Yeah.
she came over
that's
to the
right.
house to find out about it before they was going in to see the body.
Probably was just instant.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was. I think
Yeah,
it
it
was.
was broken.
Yeah.
Because he was, yeah.
It just flipped over and landed
Oh,
on
we
his
got into a lot of things out
sand.
there.
Yeah, the deputy sheriff, I got acquainted with him through that accident when he came. He became the police chief of Lyons, so I just see him, have coffee with him every time I was over Lyons. And
Okay, what else?
Dennis Luck was his name.
Dennis Luck, yeah.
Says talk about the birth of each of your children. It's one of the.
Well, with Randy, we were in Ness City. He was born in Ness City.
Yep.
And we were married in '56, and he was born in
He went-
October of '58. But he was supposedly was to be born in September.
October.
I know October was what they,
Oh.
but he went
First
over.
name.
And I had that, whatever it is that you blow, liquid, whatever it's called. And I was, you know, got big. Oh, I was miserable. And, but he took him a while to come. And I kept getting up, walking around the hallways and things.
Well, we drove the railroad tracks, we drove everything.
We
every
drove
rough road
everything,
we could
everything
find.
had bumps, everything had bumps in it, trying to get in labor.
That was Saturday, and then we come back in there and nothing happened, so then Sunday we started walking the hall.
Walking the hall.
Finally the water broke.
That's
Yeah.
what we did with, well, we didn't want to
And-
love them all.
When she went into the delivery room, it was right at shift change, 11 o'clock, so she had both nurses in
I'm all in
there.
there.
She had both of them in there for,
But he was, it was Randall Lee, yeah, it was. Yeah.
Great uncle.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
He's me.
And he was such a good baby, yes he was. And then came Ron, and he was born in Hutchinson.
Papa.
And the rest of them were all born on a Saturday.
And
That was very convenient for
Very
work.
convenient.
and didn't, I think it was planned. But anyway, Ron was born and looked like a little old man. He looked like he was, he did. Everybody had seen him. He looked like he was already
She was,
matured.
Benjamin Button situation.
she was in either December or January, before Ron was born in February. Our front stoop on the house was on the north side, and we'd had freezing rain during the night, and she walked out on there, and she landed in the snowbank with both feet sticking in the air. Went out to get the mail. She hollered, and I went out there and got her out of the snow, got her back in the house.
Oh, I cried. I just knew something happened to him. Something happened to that baby. Oh my gosh. Yeah, look at her.
Nope, she just landed in the snow.
Yeah, I let in the snow. And then when we got to the hospital, it wasn't too long, but he had a rough start. He was born, we found out, with a sunken chest.
Really?
Yeah.
And so then the folks were still out on the farm, and we went out there, and my grandma was living with us, lived out there too, and he was downstairs. Was he down? Did we? No, we didn't do him downstairs. Did we?
What?
When he was in that crib, in that basket. I think he was upstairs with us,
Yeah.
or we were downstairs. And my grandma went into the kitchen, left the faucet on in the kitchen running all night. I don't know why, but Mom just had, she was afraid, I guess it was gonna flood or something, that baby was gonna be, I don't know. But wasn't long after that, anyway, he got real bad and we had to take him to the hospital, and he was in the hospital for quite a while. He had asthma, and they had him under the.
I told the doctor to come in, and I said, it's nothing but asthma. After that, why, he called me Dr. Gary, the doctor did. Every
He
time we
usually
took
knew,
the
because
kid.
he usually took the kids to
'Cause
the doctor. and
He just
usually
knew it wasn't asthma, and I told him what it was, and they done the test. Yep, it was asthma.
Is
And he-
asthma hereditary?
It was my sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, it is. Yeah, and Grandpa had it too. Yeah, your Grandpa had it. But he still, I don't know if he has it as bad, but he still.
No, Ron doesn't have that bad.
Well, I think, but he takes stuff all the time for
Yeah.
allergies, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But anyway,
he
yeah,
was
that was coming
What they
from my
found
mom.
out, he was allergic to tree sap.
Yeah. Well,
And
he
every
was
time the
allergic
trees
to all
started to
kinds of.
move in February,
He missed school.
he missed school.
Wow.
Yep.
Or in the fall, they missed.
Tree sap and corn silk.
he missed-
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. Corn silk.
And he
They
missed
did
school all the time.
those shots,
Mhm.
100 and some shots, and that's what they came up with.
Wow.
He was allergic to.
Well, and then he was always so good about it, but he'd get to coughing, and we knew when he got to coughing then that was a sign, you know.
Yep.
And the only doctor that really helped him was the one in Little River.
Yep.
That had a liquid of some kind that he could take, and it would help him.
Right.
And then that guy left or done something, I don't know where he went. Boy, you're sure staying up a long time.
He passed away.
Oh, that's right, okay. But anyway, Ron never did, ever get to go out Halloween.
Yep.
And he always said, when I have kids, I'm going out on Halloween treat with them. Because he never, it would always be sick then. The weather would always be where he couldn't,
He'd have to stay
he
home
would have
and
to
hand
stay
out
home
the.
and hand out the treats. And he got tired of that. I just felt so sorry for him. Yeah, yes, sir, yeah. What? So you guys aren't funny anymore. But anyway, then Rich was born in Hutchinson, and Rhonda was born in Hutchinson. And of course, we was so tickled that it was a girl. I think Dad went down the hall screaming, "We got a girl! We got a girl!" Anyway, Mom, I think when he called Mom, she said, "My gosh, he was screaming in the telephone." I said, well, that's what we wanted. And you know, I wanted my tubes tied after she was born, and the doctor wouldn't do it.
Really?
And I
He said, as easy as you have babies, you need to have a dozen.
no, he did not. He did not say that. He said, I'm not going to be responsible because as bad as you wanted that little girl and something would happen to her, he said, there's no way in the Sam Hill would I tie your tube so you can't have another one. Because he said if something had happened to that baby in an accident or something, he said, I wouldn't want to be around you. So he wouldn't tie him.
Hmm.
No. He said, I know you wanted that baby. He was so tickled too. No, Mom.
I'm trying to practice here, sitting up and it's not going so well.
They know we had to use a lot of pillows to get kids to set up, but Ron was always the best baby. I could just set him and lay him anywhere. And then there was Rich.
Enough said.
Oh, yeah. We'd try to go out once in a while, and I'd have to warn the babysitter ahead of time, you know, that he cries all the time. There's nothing the matter with him, he just cries. And we'd lay him on the dining room table. We had a big table and put pillows around him. And she said, you're right, he does cry. I said, yeah, he does. And I can remember Ron writing a paper and bringing it home from school and say that the teacher said he was sleepy. And he said, I was sleepy because my baby brother cried all night. And he cries all the time. Oh, goodness. Okay, what else?
I think
That's about it.
just about. There's any stories you have about your father being the sheriff of Ness County?
Oh, my goodness.
I'm sure there's many, but that
Well, the
was-
first one that I remember was knowing he was sheriff, and I backed out of a parking place on Friday the 13th before our wedding on
Sunday
Sunday,
the
and
15th.
somebody come around the corner and run into
Plowed
a
into
car.
our car.
And of course, his dad was on the scene right now, and I was standing there crying, no, we can't go anywhere because I ruined the car.
Just knocked the tail light out.
Knocked the tail light out was all. We went anyway.
yeah.
But, yeah. But Gary went on some things with his dad that
Yeah, worked some wrecks.
wrecks and things that were awful. And of course, Nikki is always, she was kidnapped. Nick was kidnapped.
Okay.
And her and another girl, a guy picked them up.
They were 8-year-old.
They were 8-year-old, yeah. And she reminds everybody of that all the time, but they caught him before anything happened, but,
He was a very very wealthy family from Florida,
and why would.
and his folks always bought him out of everything he. But the judge says the money ain't gonna do it this time.
Yeah.
Sentence him to prison.
Nick always said she was adopted anyway. Which sometimes we wonder if she wasn't. No, that's not very nice. But she did. She always said that. Even when I first met her and things, she said, you know I'm adopted. I said, no, you're not. Yeah, I am. She always said her aunt in Kansas City, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was her mom.
Huh.
Aunt Lucy. So anyway, I don't like it because his family don't get along, and you know that just makes me so sad because we always had Christmas, you know, Rothy Christmases. Remember, and you
Yeah, I
guys all
remember
got
this.
to play together and everything, and then when Mom was gone, that was gone. She didn't want any more because they didn't come to the last 2 or 3 because Dave said something about Michelle or something that she didn't like her. I mean, it was such stupid stuff. And then so we all lost our Christmases and all of our times together because we don't see any of them.
Yeah.
We talked to Aunt Twyla on the phone. And Nick used to call more, but she hadn't for a long time. But, and that's sad. I just hate that, you know. But. And then there's my sister, of course, that's in the nursing home. She don't like it one bit. She's just so unhappy at Donna, and Donna did do it. You know, some people say, well, you know, and no, none of us agreed to it, but Donna done it herself. And Vera knows it. She wants me to write a letter. Just to be sure to know to other kids or people to never do that to their mom. To never put them in a nursing home without. And the thing of it was, they sold all of her stuff. sold her car, and she said, Joanne, I don't even have a spoon, I don't even have a cup, I don't have nothing, and she don't. She does not, she don't even have a pencil, a pad of paper, or anything. It's hers. Her clothes, and half of those are gone. She doesn't know where they are. And I had one white coat she wanted so bad. And I hear it every night, because I will not quit calling her. I call her every night to talk to her.
Yeah.
And she looks forward to it. She knows that I'm going to, you know.
If she don't call, she calls.
Yeah, if I don't call at before a certain time, then she calls. But, you know, and you got to stop and think, you know. Donna made up her mind. Well, she was the one that done it. Vera, I guess, well, I've never seen the papers. Donna said Vera made her, what I want to say?
DPOA, durable power.
Yeah.
Durable power of her medical
Uh-huh.
help, which her mom was in the hospital 2 or 3 times, and Donna would have to come out. But I mean, they had nothing to keep her at home. She didn't have her kids were grown, and they had a big nice house that's paid for, and fancy cars. They didn't have to be, you know. She could have been out here more than she was, and maybe that's my opinion. But you know, but anyway. That she said I made my mind up that last time they called me that I was not going to do this again, that she was going in the nursing home. And the next thing we knew, she was there and everything was sold right then. Put out and sold everything. And Vera just cannot get over that. And but Wanda and I begged Donna not to sell it. I said to get a storage and let's put it in storage for a while to see what happens. You know, and had we had done that, Vera's as well now as I've ever seen her for a long time. And she has her mind and knows, you know. And she's 95 years old. And it's very hard on me because I call at night, and I kept telling myself I'm going to start calling in the mornings because then I go to bed with this on my mind all the time.
Right.
You know, I just don't understand how anybody could do that. And she said, I want a paper written, and I want, you know, why anybody would do this to their mother and dad, or to their mother. We put them in a nursing home. Of course, my mom always begged me, please don't put me in a nursing home. You know, do not put me in a nursing home unless she died of a heart attack before. She was going to come down and live with us on the farm. And before she got there, she had the heart attack. We used to have more fun when Mom and Dad came out to the farm. We raised big gardens. I mean, you know, like 100 tomato plants and I don't know how many
And chickens.
chickens and
Baby chicks.
rabbits and everything. But we had so much garden that we ended up giving it to the nursing homes and everything that was in town. And okra we grew, which I wouldn't eat okra for nothing, but we grew up there. And we had Shetland ponies.
And we had Jerusalem artichokes.
And ponies would get out of their corral
Yeah.
and dig those Jerusalem
Those-
artichokes out because
Yeah.
that's what they liked.
And they were good.
And they were
we
like
had-
potatoes. If I
Yeah.
probably cooked them as a potato and mashed them, people wouldn't know the difference. But they would pick it out of the garden. They would dig those up and eat them.
Take their hoofs and dig them out. They knew where it was good.
Remember that one time Rod's boy was out. We had pumpkins. Oh, biggest patch of pumpkins, and he was out in the middle of it. I don't know how he got out there. And we got a picture of him hollering, "Dad, I'm out here and I can't get out." Oh, we had some fun times out on that farm. Lots of people around, lots of times. Yep. I done a lot of cooking then. I think that's why I don't cook anymore. But everybody brought stuff that came to, you know. Dean and their family was out there a lot, but he was the same age that I was. You're going to sleep, so we're going to sleep. You're not filming now, are you?
No.